Do you ever feel like your voice is just noise, lost in a sea of endless shouting?
You see a problem in your community, and you talk about it with friends.
But the idea of actually fixing it feels completely impossible. You feel like you are shouting into a void. What if I told you that this feeling has a name? More importantly, what if there is a simple, brain-backed way to reverse it? Stay with me because you have more power than you realize, and the proof is in how our brains are wired. That feeling of powerlessness is not a personal failing. It is a well-documented psychological state called learned helplessness. It happens when our brain learns from experience that our actions do not lead to meaningful outcomes. Over time, the brain simply decides, why even try? We stop taking action, even when we could make a difference. This state is corrosive to our mental well-being and to the health of our communities. But the good news is that what is learned can be unlearned. In this video, we are going to explore the simple, powerful antidote to learned helplessness. You will learn not just a practical method to make your voice heard, but also why it works on a neurological level. To understand the solution, we first need to look at what is happening in our brains when we choose to vent instead of act. Picture this. You are in a group chat with friends, and everyone is complaining about the terrible traffic from that new construction project. Every message of agreement and every shared frustration feels validating. Neuroscientists explain this as the dopamine of the vent. You get a tiny, temporary hit of a reward chemical for expressing the emotion and receiving social validation. Your brain's reward system briefly lights up, mistaking social agreement for actual progress. It feels productive, but it is the mental equivalent of running on a treadmill. You are expending energy, but you are not going anywhere. The feeling fades quickly, and the problem, the traffic, is still there tomorrow. Now, contrast this with taking one small action. Instead of just typing into the group chat, you spend 2 minutes finding your local representative's email address and writing a short note. That act generates a different, more lasting feeling. Psychologists link this to a sense of agency, which is associated with the neurotransmitter serotonin. This is not the fleeting buzz of validation. It is the quiet, deep satisfaction of self-efficacy. You have stepped off the treadmill and taken a single step down a path. But a fair question is, does that single step even matter to anyone else? This is where we need to reframe the entire act. Think about how you use online reviews. When you see a product with thousands of reviews, you do not read every single one. You look at the overall rating, and maybe you scan for keywords like battery life or broken. Each individual review is not just a personal opinion. It is a single data point. When enough data points accumulate around a specific keyword, it signals a trend that the company cannot ignore. Now apply this exact same logic to civic action. When you send that email about the traffic, you are not just complaining. You are providing a data point. Your email is a unique, time-stamped, geographically located piece of information about a specific issue. By itself, it is one email, but as part of a system, it becomes something much more powerful. So you are no longer a complainer, you are a data point. But does anyone actually look at that data? The answer from insiders who have worked in these systems is a surprising and definitive yes. Here is how it really works, and it is simpler than you think. An elected official or a city department might receive hundreds or thousands of communications a week. No single person is reading every word of every email. Instead, their staff uses systems to track, tag, and sort this inflow of information. A staffer's job is to look at the dashboard and spot patterns. They are not looking for the most beautifully written prose or the most scathing critique. They are looking for spikes in the data. A single emotional story is hard to act on, but a clear, quantifiable trend is impossible to ignore. They might see, hey, this week we got 50 emails about the broken streetlight on Elm Street, up from 0 last month.
That is a trend, and that trend is what gets put into the weekly briefing report. That report is what informs the decision-maker's priorities.
Decision makers do not hear the random noise, they see the data trends. Your one email is the raw material that builds that trend. Okay, so you are convinced on the logic, but the moment you sit down to write, a different voice pipes up, your inner critic. This voice is not you. It is the echo of past experiences where trying did not work. It might say, "But I am not an expert on traffic flow. I will sound stupid." The reframe is this: your expertise is your experience. You are an expert on how long it takes you to get home, or on the safety of the park your kids play in. The critic might then argue, but one person cannot make a difference. We have already seen that this is false. You are not one person. You are one data point contributing to a larger picture. Finally, it might whisper, "What do I even say? I do not know the right words." This is the most common hurdle of all, and it is the easiest one to clear. Once you have quieted that inner critic, you are ready to act. But what do you actually say? You do not need a perfectly crafted essay. You just need a clear signal. To make it easy, just remember the ACR method. This stands for audience, concern, and request. First, audience, be clear who you are addressing, like the City Parks Department. Second, concern. State the specific problem in one sentence, like, the swing set at Northwood Park has been broken for over a month. Third, request. Make a single, clear ask, such as, could you please provide an update on the timeline for its repair? Audience, concern, request. That is a perfect data point because it is clear, specific, and actionable. It takes less than 2 minutes, and it is infinitely more powerful than hours of venting. If you are finding this kind of practical psychology valuable for your personal growth, consider subscribing to join our community. Let's bring this all together. We started with that feeling of shouting into the void, a feeling we now understand as learned helplessness. We saw how venting gives us a cheap dopamine hit, while taking small actions builds a deeper sense of agency. We discovered that your voice is not a complaint to be ignored, but a data point to be tracked. The most profound change here is not just about fixing a streetlight or a swing set. It is about the internal rewiring that happens when you prove to your own brain that your actions matter. Agency is not a personality trait you are born with. It is a muscle you build, one small, powerful action at a time. Thank you so much for exploring these patterns with us today. If this perspective resonated with you, consider subscribing to continue your journey of self-awareness and personal growth. Remember, your experience is your expertise, and your voice is a vital piece of data. Start small, act now, and prove to yourself just how powerful you truly are.